Assalamu alaikum. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Let's bring in our audio, brothers and sisters, from the fire zone. Fire zone, the Black Alert Hour. Brothers and sisters, topic today for this hour is religion. Now, what is religion? See, they deceive you about religion because religion is like an alternate reality, like fiction, because none of them can be proven. And prior to 50,000 years ago, there was no thing called religion. It's a new concept. It's a new word. There was just reality. The reality of mathematics. Nobody worshipped anything. There was nothing unseen. We had full control of the universe. There was nothing hidden, nothing that we didn't know about. Masters of the universe. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. So there was no religion, no more than a cat has religion. A mouse has religion, an elephant has religion, the birds have religion. They don't have religion. They just have nature. And then nature, how it interacts, right, with the biological reality. That's all that is. Okay? So are they wiser than us? We had no religion, no concept of religion. There was no such thing. But as a result of energy deprivation, something that you had no knowledge of before I told you, as a result of the universe expanding, it's full of contraction. That means all the energy that was here is now out there. So that means as the universe expands, we have less and less energy until we got to a stage of energy deprivation at universe full expansion. And that's a 50,000 year period which has come to an end in 1948. That came to an end. Now we're in the stage of self-imposed energy deprivation by you misusing the energy that you have. Because now you have enough energy to maintain yourselves. Energy deprivation simply means you don't have enough energy to maintain yourself. So if you don't have enough energy to maintain yourself, you don't have enough energy to maintain a civilization or anything else. But now you have enough energy to maintain yourself. See, as of 1948. So the universe is now in the contraction stage, and now energy is coming back in waves, a frequency of about 50 years. Every year we get an positive energy wave. So 50,000 years ago, when we went into that phase of energy deprivation, 15,000 years later, right, we lost mental control of our universe. We didn't understand it, see, as we did before. So then people tried to understand it, try to explain it, and that was religion. Because that's all religions are, attempt to explain, right, how the universe works. They're philosophies. They won't tell you that, but that's what it is, because none of them are fact. None of them are facts. None of them are proven. None of them are proven. It's just philosophies of how the universe works. That's why you have so many of them. That's why you have so many of them. because they're philosophies. That's all they are. They cannot be proven. It's somebody's idea of how the universe works. They're not realities, because you cannot produce anything out of them. If they're realities, then you could be able to produce something real. That's why they call it reality. You'll be able to produce something real out of it. Just like mathematics, we can make computers out of it, make cars, right? Fuel. All those things are mathematics coming out of a mathematical reality. There's no Hindu car. There's no Christian fuel. There's no Buddhist airplanes or electricity, because they're not real. They're just philosophies. But they come to you and tell you that they're real, and you must believe in them. See, that's where the lie comes in at. Because they come and tell you that it's a philosophy, my opinion, that'd be different. But they go to war over this. But in mathematics, right, that's not allowed. Because if you can't prove it, then it's a theory. It stays in the context of a theory, right, until it can be proven. The evolution is a theory. Check it out, brothers and sisters. That means they don't know if it's true or not. See, you better, some of you believe it's a fact, but they're telling you they don't know, because they call evolution a theory. They don't say it's a fact. It's a theory. Like Einstein's theory of relativity. Theory of relativity. They don't know it's a fact, because they can't prove it. If you can't prove it, it's theory. But when it comes to religion, they don't come and tell you, oh, well, I believe this works, or this is my opinion. No, that's where it is. And then they use coercive messages, coercive methodology, right, or methods to get you to conform or to submit to their ideologies. Like in Christianity, you're going to burn in hell forever and ever and ever without end if you don't conform to my philosophy. See? You have lack ideas in all the other religions too. See? So they kind of force you into it and scare you into it. See? But religion, like I said, there's no such thing as religion. And we're going back to the mathematical standard. That mathematics is king. Mathematics is the nature of the universe. We're going to go back to that standard. See, once you back to that standard, there's no place for religion. Because like Elijah Muhammad said, Islam is mathematics, mathematics is Islam. So it's just mathematics. And you have to be trained in mathematics, because if you're original, your nature is mathematics. Well, all our natures are mathematics, but it's your nature to be a mathematical wizard, because you have a spatial mind. You're creative. The spatial mind is creative. The analytical mind is technical. So one says be, other one brings into existence. Be, and it is. So this religion thing, you can choose to keep believing in the BS if you want to. This is a no bullshit zone. Stop the bullshit. If you want to keep believing in fantasies, that's fine. See, these fantasies just replace old fantasies. The Romans had a religion, they call it myths now. See? The Greeks had a religion, they call it myths now. Because those civilizations were overcome, right, by the one that called themselves Christians. So now, you understand? So that's the current mythology. See? Sunnism, mythology. They can't prove it. What is it Paul says in the Bible? Prove all things. They can't prove any of it, none of it. They ask you just have faith to believe in it. But you can't believe in all of them. You can't believe in Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. You can't believe in all of them at the same time. So which one is right? If any of them right, only one could possibly be right, and maybe all of them are wrong. But if one is right, and you say it's 4 major religions, that means 3/4 of the world is insane, because they believe in something that's totally ridiculous, that's unproven, that's insane. See? So, like I said, there's no such thing as religion, but if you're going to use it in the context of religion, then Islam religion is mathematics. And we can prove it. The scriptures are mathematically based. Now I'm going to go through a little short situation here. It's not going to be too easy for the audio people, but we include this as a link in the description so you can see the video version, right? Because some of you in the audio version may not understand this because it requires a graphic. So I'm going to give you a taste of how, because I say the scriptures, talking about the Old Testament and New Testament. I'm not talking about the King James Version. I'm talking about the transliteral versions. See, because the King James Version is interpretive. So in other words, they include their idea in it. But the transliteral just tells you, translate just exactly what's there. See? So, the scriptures, I'm saying they're mathematical. And they're all future. They give you foresight. They're not for hindsight. When people tell you that's history, that's a lie. They don't send you these books to teach you history. They give you this book for foresight, not hindsight. So all the stuff you see in the scripture is not in talking about the past. It's talking about present and future. So let's go ahead and look at one graphic I prepared here. Now they talk about four beasts. So I'm showing the four beasts. One like a lion, one like a calf, one had the face of a man, and one was a flying eagle. And each one of them had 6 wings. And then you had the 7 spirits of the God. See? So if you're the spirits of the God, then you are the God. Okay. Now, mathematics, pressure, it's, the universe is mathematics. It's all mathematics. Energy is mathematics, period. Everything is mathematics, period. Right? But the form mathematics takes for our existence, right, is pressure. So that's the form that the universe takes. That's the form of mathematics that governs the universe, pressure. Okay? So we're going to give a brief analogy here. Now, we understand that the Europeans are a stripped down version of us. So if we was to say, well, the Africans, so to speak, they were made of steel. See? And Asia was made of iron. See? And the Orientals made of hard brass. And so the Europeans made of porcelain, like, on the pool table. So why I say these things like this, right? See? Okay. Because the hardest metals on the top and the weakest metals on the bottom. And then you got the spirits, right? They're the hardest metal of all. See? The 7 spirits, right? But the other one was called creatures because they was created by us. Okay. So in the pressure, things collide. When you see like water boil, that means the atoms are colliding with each other. They're banging against each other. See? Harmonic motion means, like you see in the Kabbalah where everybody's walking around, nobody's colliding. Well, no, they haven't achieved harmonic motion. They achieve pressure, which is collisions. So the more energy that you supply, the more heat, the greater collision is going to be. And we receive energy waves every 50 years, and it says momentous in the heavens and earth, but it come you but of a sudden. Okay? That means every time we get an energy wave, because the earth absorbs it and converts to a form we can use. And it emits it on a daily basis. And we can't use it all up at once. The earth produces so much every 24 hours. Okay. So every time you get an energy wave, that causes the pot to heat up. So if it heats up, right, then the molecules in the pressure system obey the rule of mass times acceleration equals force. Mass times acceleration equals force. So if the force is 12, right, and your mass is 1, your acceleration is going to be 12. If your mass is 2, your acceleration is going to be 6. Your acceleration is 3, your acceleration, if your mass is 3, your acceleration is going to be 4. See? That's the way it works. So in other words, the lower your mass is, because structure has something to do with mass. So if a porcelain ball, you can move much faster than a iron or silver or cobalt. You can move much faster because you have lower mass. Because you're porcelain, you're not iron, so you have lower, simpler mass. So you're gonna move faster because your mass is lower. See, so that's the pot heating up. So you collide with each other, but as the pressure builds up, the collisions at first they were acceptable, like intimacy or going out on a date or just friendly. Then it gets more intense. See, and the pressure. So it gets to the point, right, where the collisions at first the collisions were acceptable, but now the collisions turn into like argument or a fight, or worse, because the pressure is causing more collisions. See, amongst you. See? That's mathematics. But now you go to Oriental, right? Well, they're not as simple. They're the brass. So they're more complicated. So they can move around as fast. They can move around as fast as the porcelain did. But they move around fast, but not as fast as them, because they're more their mass is more complicated. Then you go to the Asians who say, well, they're made out of iron. Well, they're gonna move around even slower, because they're more complex, right? So they move around, so that means they're gonna have less collisions, and their collisions not gonna be fatal. But the Europeans' collisions, they turn to be fatal. So the European condition right there at war. As the pressure increases, they end up going to war. And then they drag in the Orientals because they're not that aggravated yet, because they move slower. See? They move slower. So the energy hasn't hit them yet. And then the Asians even move slower than them. Africa's moving even slower than them. And Seven Spirits of God moving even slower than them. So that means they're colliding, but the original people, their collisions are very minor. Very minor. Not this, keeping the demons in mind. We're not going to play them here, right? So they move around slower. They slower to act. But the Europeans are quick to act. Now, the scriptures tell us that first there's going to be war in the Middle East, and then a war in America will take place. See? A war. Armageddon. Because it got hot enough for them to have so many collisions that the collisions are fatal. So that's a war. See? And at the same time, China, right, is not going to be in that collisions, not going to be in that war, right? But they're going to take back everything, right, while they distracted that America took from them, that the Europeans took from them. They're going to be bogged down in Europe at war. You understand, brothers and sisters? Then the Africans, right, they made cobalt, so they don't move around as much. Then the original nation, see, they're the hardest of all. See, they don't move around much. See? So they're not colliding. So when the Europeans go to war, they won't be at war unless you're stuck here inside of America. When America goes to war, then you're going to be caught up and you're going to be wiped out. See? So it works, brothers and sisters. If you're caught up in it, you're going to be wiped out. That's their position, to wipe as many of you out. They're turning this thing from a criminal enterprise to from a prisoner, a criminal, right, to a civil. Get you to sell out your inheritance. So the Bible tells us that the first war will be between Europeans, Armageddon. It says we'll break out in the Middle East, but the war actually starts when Babylon falls. That's when it starts. See? And it says the first war will be War Armageddon. That's the one we're looking forward to in a few days. And then it says after they go after each other, then they will be attacked, right? Because by India and China, who's they're made of iron and steel balls. So if they collide with porcelain, they're going to crush the porcelain. They're going to break it into pieces. But that's what says what happens because China and India, that's the goat in Daniel, they come and they're going to attack the ram, which is America and Britain, and destroy her, stomp it to the ground. That's the mathematics of it. Now, when that happens, Africa is slower, but they're stronger. See, they made of something harder than steel. We say cobalt, for instance. So that's so they're moving slower, but but if they have contact with steel or porcelain or iron, right? They're gonna put dents in while they probably won't frustrating dents at all, because their structure's so strong. So they're gonna move slower. Mass times acceleration equals force. So if force is 12, and they are a 12, that means they're gonna move around. The acceleration is only gonna be 1. Where the Europeans, if their structure is 1, their acceleration is 12, so they're going to move much faster. But in a collision with the other ones, they're going to be destroyed because they're weaker. They have weaker mass. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So if you understand that, that shows you that, because that's exactly what they said would happen. They said first the eagle would go and war with each other, tear each other apart. Then China and India will invade them. And then they would get to war with non-Islamic Africa, who would defeat them eventually, right? To be defeated by the 7 spirits, the Master Prophet Muhammad and Suleiman. Because they made the hardest metals altogether, hard as possible. So they're moving very slower than anybody else, right? See? But they're harder than everybody else, because they was forged in the furnace of affliction. So that shows you that if you understand that the Bible and the Quran are mathematical books. Because that's the sequence of events. They tell you it's going to happen. And I just show you the mathematics in it in sense of pressure. Those are mathematical books, but foresight, not hindsight. When they kind of keep telling you those events in the Bible is hindsight, they're lying to you because they don't want you to know who they are. They're hiding their identity. They're lying to you. Because the eagle, that represents European countries. That's Gog and Magog. That's false Israel. Identity theft restores your identity. So they're going to go, and they're going to go to war with the Shia, right? Which is the top part, the golden part, or the Muslim part, or the Caucasian nation. And they're going to be defeated because, and if you have degrees of metal, say they're iron there, right? See? But you got degrees of iron. Some iron is stronger than others, depends on. So the Iranians, they're the strongest. And so when they go to war, they were collisions, but they would survive the collisions and define the war and to win the war and take down false Israel. And India and China will follow right behind them. And they'll take out the European countries. By that time, the Muslim part or the Caucasian nation, which is the Shia and Iran, the Shia, Iran and Iran and Syria, right? The Shia, see, they're going to move up and be delivered. You see, but they're going to defeat the other ones because they are harder metal, and the collisions, they'll break the other porcelain balls apart, while they just maybe have a dent or two on them. And then you get the invasion of the goat, talking about face of man, and the goat, the calf. See? Then followed by Africa. So that's the sequence of events we're told in the Bible. Those you study the Bible, understand the Bible. That's the sequence of events. Why? Because the nature of each one of them, they follow mathematics. You can't escape mathematics. You can't escape consequence. I try to explain that. So I try to give a little more detail here to show you how, if you follow this, the angel key, and you follow what they're telling you about wars and rumors of wars, the real war, how it's going to start, how it's going to proceed, how it's going to end. That's it, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that's all. Let me check something right quickly. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So you have all these religions, brothers and sisters. They're not real. You can't prove any of it. So if you want to put your life in the hands of fools that's telling you that this philosophy is real, if it was real, they wouldn't be calling it philosophy. It's just a belief. That's why I tell you, ask you to believe it. But Suleiman's on the scene. He doesn't believe anything anymore. You can prove it yourself. Deprogram yourself. We can deprogram you, but you can deprogram yourself. See? Understand. There's no spooky individual stuff. It's all personification of something. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So there's no such thing as religion. That's a fantasy. That's a make-believe fantasy, make-believe fiction. Because the birds don't have a religion, the cows don't have religion, the dogs don't have religion, the planes don't have religion. None of those things have religion. Because their philosophy is people's opinion. We're going to give you our opinion here. We might, every now and then, make it very clear. It has nothing to do with this message. We do not compromise this message. We don't want to take any pills or anything to offset it. No, that's the mission. It's going to turn out exactly like the mission stated will turn out. So we're not going to waste time with that, brothers and sisters. If you want to come and assist us, get this word out, you're welcome. But if you got other agendas, then fine, stay away. Because when the time comes, because the judgment will take place in America before we leave. And when you ask, did you hear that truth? Did you recognize any of it? Yeah. Well, how come you didn't go out and tell your brothers and sisters? Well, see, then you're silent. Then you're silent. Silent. See? Because then their blood is going to be, the millions that died, it's going to be blood on your hands because you failed to step up and warn them when you understood the nature of the warning and the source of the warning. And so, that's going to be on you, brothers and sisters. If you understand, make sense of this message, and you're not supporting it, then you have a hard day when the judgment comes, a very, very hard day, because you're not going to get past me. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. There's many out there propelling this false reality. It's not a reality at all. They're pushing it because they're going to rob you at the finish line. They're going to rob you at the finish line. See? Because Israel has stolen your identity. As soon as they stole your land. See? And they stand behind me, these devils we hear, they stole our nature. They're stolen our, they can't steal our nature forever, right? They stole our nature, right? They stole our history, right? They stole our civilization, any family ties. They stole it all. And then they reprogrammed us to be Negro butts to follow their rule, their lead forever. So they made us to Negro butts. We came in 50-55. The story of Joseph. They know how to proper do agriculture, right? They can grow things. The Indians before that had to teach them those things. They first came over here, how to farm, how to do things, right? Because they don't know how to do it. That's why I turned Europe into a shithole. But we were here. We did Joseph. So they couldn't figure out how to do it. Joseph had to figure it out and tell them. So therefore he had control. And all our people is here. See? And then, what they do? How they reward Joseph? By enslaving his descendants. That's us. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay? That story pertains to us. Time is running out, brothers and sisters. Like I said, those of you who hear the message and don't step up to warn our people, their blood is on your hands. It tells Suleiman, if you're watching on the wall, if you say one come and you don't warn the people, their blood is in your hands. And that goes to everybody who's trying to help me, because that is something that includes them also. If they was out there helping warn the people, maybe some more people would have been warned. But it looks like right now, based on their statistics, not very many can be warned. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So these religions, if you want to participate in them, continue, that's up to you. But they're not real, and you can't prove them. They're all somebody's philosophy. The only real religion is mathematics. You can prove something out of that reality that you can deal with, that you relate to. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. All these religions, they're there to fool you, deceive you in the last day, because they know the last day God is coming for you. They know what 1619 to 2019 meant. See? So they're trying to sell you a Volkswagen Beetle for a Lamborghini. So if you take those reparations, that money and stuff, all you're doing is destroying yourself. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. And that's for my bean pot family. Okay, we're gonna let it go, brothers and sisters. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Okay, brothers and sisters, closing out. We've closed out the audio section. We've closed out the video section. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Again, the Suleiman Rahim, Mention of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. I'll include the video section with the audio section. I'll include that link in the audio section. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.